Hey girls. Yeah, here we are, back at the ranch. Um, the Big Red Pig Ranch. And we got the Big Black Hog Ranch. Anyway, I posted a bunch of videos today. You know, I'm going to flip this around. I posted a bunch of videos today. And they're just little, some of them are 30 seconds long, minute and a half. I haven't gotten real good at this, obviously. My editing skills, I don't have any. But I'd like to learn how to do that because it's really cool watching people like One Pug Life. Check that guy out. I really like what he does. I admire what he's grown his entertainment channel into, his YouTube channel, and he's really been an inspiration to me. I'm into bicycles, motorcycles. I like my family. I'm trying to keep them out of it, but we'll see what happens. This is my garage. It's just a 2-car garage. I try to do most of the stuff myself, and that's why you see me make so much mistakes, because I'm not an expert at this. I buy the manual and I kind of learn from there. So check out the videos today, and I'd appreciate give me a like, a thumbs up. This is fun. I enjoy it, and I'd like to share because I think I have a lot to share. I've been doing bicycles for a long time. I've been a mechanic my whole life, and I like to think I've got a little bit of a sense of humor. Anyway, let me flip this back around. So here we are. I got the Honda back in the garage here. The last time you seen it, it was parked out front. It had broken down on me, and since then I've kind of re-examined things. I've kind of read the manual a lot more. This is the Honda manual, by the way. So down here, this float level inspection, when you're measuring the float height, I found a really good video online. It was a great video. I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to give him credit somehow. But I think he's like a vocational school instructor, and he went through these. I can't even pronounce them. Makin and Kian Japanese carburetors. He went through them, one thing at a time. He would show you the idle circuits, and he would show you the, the main circuits. He would show you how a carburetor. I know how a carburetor works. I went to trade school years ago. I learned how a carburetor works, but I don't know how these carburetors work exactly. But I know there's certain things to them, and I found out what I was doing wrong. I think. But what I'm saying is I'm going to have to tear that carburetor back open. I think I adjusted the float height wrong. I think what I did was when the float height comes up against the needle valve, you don't want that little spring on the needle valve. You don't want to compress that spring, and that's what I was doing, and I think I was getting a false measurement. So I'd like to go back in there and re-examine that. The float, the little mechanism, it's supposed to come right up against the spring. The needle's supposed to be seated, but it's not supposed to compress the spring. If you let gravity do it, it'll actually compress that spring, and so you'll get a false reading. The other thing I found, and the same guy gets the credit, this vocational instructor. He's awesome. I'll give you his name. I can't remember it right now. But the needle valve, I can't use both hands. When the needle valve goes up and down, it's got the little, I don't know what you want to call it, needle valve collar. And the collar actually mounts up from underneath. And it goes up under. I can't even remember the name of the valve, but it's a metering valve for the needle valve. And it's the metering valve's got these little holes in it. And the needle plugs and unplugs those holes, and it meters the fuel. Anyway, I need to check that little piece inside there. It's not threaded in there or anything, and there's no up or down arrow. So I had a question mark in my head when I put it together on which way it goes. You can flip it up this way, and I thought, well, it's got the rounded end on the top because that's the way the needle comes up and down. I thought that's the way it goes, but I need to check that. There's a few things this instructor showed might make a difference. I mean, we're talking about the idle circuit, and that's where it transitions from the needle to the idle mixture screw. One other thing I found, the O-ring and the washer that goes on the idle mixture screw, there's a spring, there's the screw, a spring, a washer, and an O-ring. It was missing the washer and the O-ring, and had to drive quite a ways to get that. Now, there's definitely no washer in there, but the O-ring might still be stuck in there. This video show, you got to get in there and really, really be careful. I thought I did, but I want to get in there and like with a sharp little paper clip and make a little prong on the paper clip. Get in there and really dig and make sure I get that. Make sure there's not two O-rings and one washer now. We're talking about the idle circuit, so we want to make double sure. I'm going to have it apart again, I might as well, right? Got to take the whole carburetor apart because everything I did was screwed up because I'm a big dumb goof. No, but hey, when I'm out in the desert, I'll know this stuff, right? That's my plan. When I get out in the middle of Baja, like Dave Pfeiffer up on the top of the mountain with a fouled plug, you know what I'm talking about, Dave and Justin, and Mike. That was fun that night, wasn't it? Anyhow, you should know how to fix your motorcycle. And Dave knows how, but he didn't have an extra plug. You want to be prepared. That's all I'm saying. He was prepared. He had us, and we had a ball, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. That was one hell of a 4x4 adventure, and maybe someday I'll talk about that. But Dave and Mike and Justin, you guys know. Scott knows about it. Check it out. That was fun. Anyhow, back to the big red pig. I don't think the seafoam had anything to do with my problem. The problem was I had the oil overfilled. I put a whole quart extra. Maybe some of you caught that in the video, but when you check the oil, don't do it right now like when it's cold. I haven't ran this in 2 days. It's cold. Don't check it now. Wait till you get it running. You're supposed to warm it up for 5 minutes. Warm it up for 5 minutes, and if it's really cold outside, they say to warm it up for 10 minutes. And then you check it. You know, you unscrew it, pull the dipstick out, you put it back in. Don't thread it back in. Don't thread it. Just stick it in, pull it out, the dipstick, right? Pull it out, and check the level wherever it's at. And, on these dipsticks, it gives you about 6 inches worth of, that's the difference between one quart, but they give you quite a dipstick to use. It's real easy to read. You just want to make sure you got oil in there. As long as you got oil, you're going to be all right. I can't remember, 1.56 quarts if you do not change the filter. And I did not change the filter. So I actually drained the oil out of this, re-put the proper amount in. It still wouldn't run, so I wound up having to take the carburetor all apart. I did. I completely went through the carburetor. But obviously I didn't put it together right. I'm not a pro, but I do have the manual. I have the proper manual, and I have YouTube. YouTube is invaluable. I'm sure glad I got YouTube because I don't have a teacher. I don't have a guru that I go to every Wednesday night or anything like that. I'm a bicycle mechanic, and I'm a mechanic too. I'm actually a diesel mechanic from years ago, but hey, I don't do this stuff every day, and I'm still learning, and I'm having fun with it. What are you doing today? I guess, if you want to be a critic, and not that you're a critic, I hope you're not criticizing, because I'm just having fun. I'm a dumb goof, I'll admit that. No problem. Let me show you what else we got going on. Oh, by the way, so anyway, I'm going to go through that carb, fix a few things. We'll be back with the big red pig. Harley's sitting for now. I needs to warm up a little bit. Amy and Lily thought they were going someplace today, but really they were just going to hang out with me. This is the bike, the Schwinn from 1985. It's the Schwinn Chameleon. The Schwinn Chameleon, and the reason they call it a chameleon is because you loosen this bolt and you take this top bar here and you move it up to here and it becomes a boy's bike. Well, that's pretty cool. I have twin grandkids. One's a girl, one's a boy. They're about 18 months old. Oh, they're getting about May, 3 months from now. They're going to be 2. So, I mean, this bike's perfect. They've already got their Strider bikes. They haven't really figured them out yet. But when they're done with their Strider bikes, they're going to be trading off on this. And I've got another little girl granddaughter, Zoe. She'll have something to ride when she comes over to Grandpa's house. That's pretty cool. You know, my garage, I can't keep it neat. It's upside down again now. I got crap laying all over. There's my carpentry box, air compressor, the motorcycle jack. There's some salt that I never used for my icy sidewalks this year. I got my gun safe. Believe it or not, my daughter and her family are moving in. They're the grandkids I was telling you about. They're moving in. That's all right. I mean, they need some help right now, and we're going to get them through this. A couple of my bikes. All the camping gear out of my van right now. It's a mess. Still haven't gotten rid of the Denon stereo. But check this out. I borrowed a stand, truing stand from a guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but this guy is a badass motorcyclist, okay? I'm not kidding. This guy is bad to the bone. Anyway, badder than you think. I just want to put a couple explanations. I usually put 3 exclamation points when I want to drive something home. I'm putting 3. I'll put 6 of them, and I'll stack that up about how bad of a motorcyclist you have, letting you borrow his tools. Okay? This is a truing stand or a wheel balancing stand. I need to get something to come out and true with. I need to get some kind of an arm, but that's easy. But it's got the adapters here. And if it's good enough for AMA Pro flat track events, I think it's going to be okay for this big red pig. And this big black hog ain't going to need it. Okay? It ain't going to need it. I do bicycles. I consider myself a master wheel builder on bicycle wheels, but you know, I've never done motorcycle wheels before. However, I think it's going to carry over. I got all my Honda parts in here, and you know, the chain, everything. So I guess for now I'll just have to kind of sign off. Check this out. This is my ultrasonic parts cleaner, and that's what I cleaned the carburetor with. I actually bought this for reloading. Okay, I do a lot of reloading. A lot. Those of you that reload, you know what these brands are. Tons and tons of reloading stuff. Tons. Okay. Tons of guns. That's good stuff, isn't it? All I'm saying is that this ultrasonic parts cleaner, I'm starting to get a lot more than I bargained for, and I'm really glad I got the big one. This is, you put, where'd it go? Oh, here they are. I went to Costco. And I want to say for like $10, you get 2 gallons of Pine Sol. And that's on YouTube, again, on YouTube, that's what they recommend using for carb cleaner. And you can see here, 2 gallons actually brought it clear up to the top. It was right up to the top, and that's the max line, but it brought clear up to the top, and that way I was able to get the whole carburetor, you know, under the water. Another thing I like about this, I'll do a review on this later. I'm not going to do that right now. But anyway, kudos to ultrasonic cleaning. These things do a good job, and it just happens to be the most awesome way to clean carburetors. So by buying this, I got to, what do they say? I got to get stoned. No, what do they say? Kill two birds, get stoned twice. That's it. Okay, Ricky. All right, I'll be back. I guess that's another Dickered Trailside Cyclery signing off. Adios.